Hey everyone, imagine Australia as a big sunny island full of beaches, kangaroos, and busy cities. But what if some key friends around the world suddenly disappeared? Australia might face big trouble, like losing jobs, money, and even safety. Today we'll count down the top 10 countries that keep Australia going strong. Without them, trade could stop, prices could skyrocket, and life could change a lot. This story is based on the latest 2025 facts from places like the government and trade reports. Like and subscribe for more fun facts, and watch till the end to see why number 1 is the biggest deal. Let's start the countdown. Number 10, Germany. Germany is like a smart engineer friend who sends Australia cool machines and cars. In 2025, two-way trade hits about $33 billion. Australia buys cars, medicine, and factory tools from Germany worth $25 billion in imports. These help build homes, roads, and hospitals. Australia sells coal and gold back, but the real dependency is on German tech for cars like Volkswagens and BMWs that Aussies love driving. Without Germany, car prices would jump, factories might slow down, and jobs in auto shops could vanish. Plus, Germany invests in green energy projects here, like solar panels. Strategically, both countries team up in global groups for fair trade rules. If this link broke, Australia's manufacturing sector, which employs thousands, could shrink by 5%, making everyday items more expensive. Mines might struggle without German drilling machines. It's a quiet but vital bond that keeps Australia's wheels turning smoothly. Number 9, Malaysia. Malaysia is Australia's neighbor in Asia, like a close cousin sharing food and ideas. In 2025, trade between them is around $33 billion. Australia imports oil, electronics, and palm oil from Malaysia, worth $20 billion, which powers cars and makes snacks. In return, Australia sends wheat, milk, and education services. Without Malaysia, fuel costs could rise, hitting truck drivers and farmers hard. Malaysia buys Australian beef and iron, supporting 50,000 jobs in farming. Both countries work together in ASEAN groups for sea safety, since Malaysia guards busy shipping lanes. Latest reports show Malaysia's tech factories supply phone parts to Australia. If cut off, gadget prices would soar, and tourism from Malaysians, over 400,000 visitors yearly, would drop, hurting hotels. Economically, Australia's GDP might dip by 1%, as Malaysia helps diversify trade away from bigger risks. Security-wise, joint Navy drills keep pirates away. This partnership keeps Australia's shelves full and seas safe. Number 8, New Zealand. New Zealand is like Australia's little brother across the sea, always there for fun and help. In 2025, trade reaches $35 billion. They share everything. Australia sells gas and cars to New Zealand, while buying dairy, wine, and fish worth $15 billion in imports. Without New Zealand, breakfast milk and cheese would cost more, affecting families. Over 1 million Kiwis live in Australia, sending money home and filling jobs in building. The ANZUS Pact makes them military buddies, training together against threats. Latest data shows New Zealand tourists spend $3 billion here yearly, boosting shops and beaches. If this bond broke, travel would halt, jobs and airlines lost, and defense weaker in the Pacific. Economically, Australia's food industry relies on New Zealand supplies, and shared rules make business easy. It's more than trade. It's family ties that keep both safe from big storms or enemies. Without it, Australia would feel lonely and less secure. Number 7, United Kingdom. The UK is like an old family member with deep history, sharing queens and sports. In 2025, trade is $38 billion. Australia imports whiskey, medicine, and cars from the UK, while selling beef and wine back. Imports hit $20 billion, helping health with UK drugs like vaccines. Without the UK, medical costs could rise, and pubs might miss British beers. The AUKUS deal shares submarine tech for safety against ocean threats. Latest investments show UK pours $800 billion into Australian banks and mines. This creates jobs for 100,000 people. Tourism from Brits adds $5 billion yearly. If cut off, defense tech like nuke subs would stall, making Australia vulnerable. Economy-wise, GDP could drop 2%, as UK buys Australian education for students. Shared language and laws make deals simple. This old friendship keeps Australia modern, healthy, and protected in a tough world. Number 6, Singapore. Singapore is like a busy port friend, connecting Australia to the world. In 2025, trade tops $42 billion. Australia imports oil and computers from Singapore worth $25 billion, fueling planes and offices. In return, sells gold and services. Without Singapore, flight fuel would be pricier, slowing travel. As a trade hub, Singapore handles ships carrying Australian coal to Asia. Latest reports show 500,000 Singaporeans visit yearly, spending big on tours. Joint military bases train soldiers together. If this ends, logistics chains break, raising food prices and jobs in shipping lost. Singapore invests in tech startups here, creating 20,000 jobs. Economically, it's a gateway to Asia's markets, helping Australia sell more. Security packs fight cyber attacks. Without it, Australia's exports could fall 15%, making life expensive and isolated. This small island is key to Australia's big connections. Number 5, India. India is like a big, energetic friend who's growing fast and full of ideas. In 2023, trade between Australia and India hit $49 billion in goods and services, with Australia selling $32.4 billion worth of stuff like coal, minerals, and education. Australia buys back things like clothes, spices, and software. Without India, Australia's mines would suffer because India buys lots of coal, putting 200,000 mining jobs at risk. Prices for clothes and tech would go up, making life more expensive for families. Indian students, over 126,000 in 2023, bring in $4.4 billion to schools and cities. If they stopped coming, universities might close classes and shops would lose money. Investments from India, $34.5 billion, help build solar farms and tech hubs. Security-wise, the Quad Group with India keeps seas safe from trouble. In 2025, new plans focus on clean energy and tourism, with India's economy growing 6.5%. Without this friend, Australia's economy could shrink by 3%, jobs vanish, and protection weaken, leading to collapse in energy and learning. Number 4, South Korea. South Korea is like a clever tech pal who makes awesome cars and gadgets. In 2023, two-way trade reached 70.9 billion Australian dollars, about $47.5 billion, with Australia exporting 43.6 billion Australian dollars in iron ore, coal, gas, and beef. Australia imports refined oil and cars in return. Without South Korea, mining exports would fall, losing 150,000 jobs in farms and digs. Car and fuel prices would rise, hurting drivers and businesses. The free trade deal since 2014 keeps things cheap and easy. Investments are balanced, with South Korea putting 29.3 billion Australian dollars into Australia for resources and more. Security teams up in drills like Talisman Sabre and New Tiger Dingo exercises to guard against threats. In 2025, ties grow with more joint training. Tourists and students add extra cash. If this link broke, Australia's GDP might drop 2.5%, factories slow, and defense get shaky, causing a big economic tumble and isolation. Number 3, Japan. Japan is like a reliable, smart buddy who loves building and innovating. In 2023, goods trade was 120.6 billion Australian dollars, about $80.8 billion, plus services at 6.6 billion Australian dollars. Australia sells coal for 35.5 billion Australian dollars, gas for 26.7 billion Australian dollars, iron ore, beef, and aluminum. Japan sends back cars, trucks, and oil. Without Japan, energy exports crash, closing mines and costing thousands of jobs. Car prices soar, roads get empty, and homes pay more for power. Japan invests 265.2 billion Australian dollars in Australia, building renewables and homes. The 2015 trade deal turns 10 in 2025, boosting ties at World Expo in Osaka. Security pacts like the Reciprocal Access Agreement let troops train together for peace. Tourists bring billions. If cut off, Australia's economy falls 4%, investments dry up, and Pacific safety weakens, sparking a collapse in building and alliances. Number 2, United States. The United States is like a strong, big brother always watching out. In 2023, two-way trade hit $98.7 billion, with free trade making most goods duty-free. Australia sells beef and wine but buys planes, movies, and tech. Without the U.S., defense breaks, ANZUS and AUKUS give submarines and 80% of weapons. Jobs in movies and tech rely on Hollywood links. Investments total $2.3 trillion two-way, creating millions of jobs in banks and mines. Tourists spend $10 billion yearly. In 2025, new U.S. trade policies add tariffs on steel, but global entry eases travel. If this bond ends, economy shrinks 6%, military gets weak, culture dulls, and prices rocket. No U.S. means lost protection from threats, empty skies without planes, and a huge fall in wealth and safety. Number 1, China. China is like a massive trade partner, busy and full of demand. In 2023-2024, two-way trade was $325 billion, with Australia exporting $212.7 billion in iron, coal, and services. Australia imports clothes, phones, and toys. Without China, mines stop, losing 500,000 jobs, as China takes most iron for buildings. Prices for everyday items jump, shops empty. Trade blocks lifted recently, boosting sales. China invests $47 billion in farms and health. Chinese students, the biggest group, and tourists add $15 billion, filling schools and hotels. In 2025, a new tourism deal signed in July brings more visitors, but sea tensions need talks. If ties snap, economy crashes 10%, schools suffer, and growth halts, causing total collapse in building, buying, and global standing. There you go, the end of our adventure. These countries are like pillars holding up Australia. Stay connected to the world, friends. What country surprised you? Tell me in thoughts. See you soon for more stories.